Hello and welcome to another episode of Conspirator Box Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of April 15th, 2015. So let's get right into it. First up on my pull list is American Vampire Second Cycle, number 7. This is Scott Snyder's Americana vampire story stuff. This stuff's amazing. If you are not reading it, you should go back and read the first segment, which is just American Vampire, and then he picks it up again with Second Cycle. The book does not come out on a month-to-month basis. It's kind of staggered. I think the last issue came out back in February. The reason being is he's writing so much that he doesn't get a chance to do American Vampire a lot. But he's been open about that. But American Vampire Second Cycle number 7, can't wait. Next up, we have Bloodshot Reborn, number 1. I'm actually really looking forward to Bloodshot Reborn. I really like the Bloodshot regular that Valiant came out with. Doesn't necessarily need to be restarted with a number 1, but we'll see. So Bloodshot Reborn, number 1. Next up is Convergence, number 2. We're in getting into the full swing of Convergence. This is week 2 of it. Interesting stuff going on. I'm curious to see how Convergence plays out. 0 issue in the first issue were good, so we'll see if it continues. Convergence 2. Next up are the rest of the Convergence titles I'm actually picking up. I'm picking up Convergence Aquaman because I'm really curious to see what they do with Aquaman in the time period that this is from, where he no longer has a hand, but he has that spear hook thing. So, and I've enjoyed Aquaman so far, so we'll see where it goes with that. Next up is Convergence Catwoman. This looks like it's the Catwoman from the Jim Valiant stuff, which is the stuff from the 90s, which I have I think I have all of it, and I'm going to get it bound. I just haven't had time to sit down and map it out. And yes, Trip, I know, I need to make a binding video. Got it. But Catwoman, Convergence, checking it out. Next up is one that's hopefully going to be super fun, because I really, really enjoyed this team and the dynamic of this team, but it's Justice League International number 1, Convergence issue. Justice League International is just overall a fun group of characters, and I really, really hope this pays off really well. So. Then next up we have the wonderful Convergence Suicide Squad. This looks like an interesting team with Cyborg Superman, Black Manta, Deathstroke Bane, Deadshot, and Poison Ivy. So we shall see if this holds up to muster. I like how there's the old font they used up there. That's always been a really cool font. So, and yes, I have all those John Ostrander Suicide Squad issues, and I'm waiting to get it bound. But again, I need time to do mapping, and I haven't had time. But Convergence Suicide Squad. Next up is a book I get just for fun, because I love the little cartoon. But it's Teen Titans Go number 9. Not necessarily the best stories. The cartoon is far superior, but it's nice to kind of see different little interactions with the Teen Titans characters from this cartoon series. So, Teen Titans Go number 9. It contains chapters 17 and 18 of the digital, because it comes out first digitally and then it comes out in print format. Then last up on my pull list is Unity number 17. Really enjoying Unity. It's a really solid title from Valiant. It's basically their Justice League or Avengers book. Really good stuff. Really enjoy it. If you get a chance, check it out. But Unity number 17. Variants. So I figure I'll just shove the variants in at the end of my pull list. So this is the variant covers that I purchased this week. Tony Daniel's Convergence 2 variant was pretty cool. So I decided to pick this one up. There's a few other Convergence variant covers, but this is the one that I enjoyed and that I really decided to pick up. I got some of those, Chip Kid variants for Convergence. The first one was for Catwoman. So, I mean, these aren't great variants. It's kind of the bleed, and then the second issue will bleed from this direction. But, you know, hey, I like Catwoman. I got it. And then next up is the Suicide Squad Convergence variant, Chip Kid variant. I thought it was funny that the chick sticking her tongue out. So, that's why I picked it up. So, that's my pull list. These are the titles that I brought home for my collection, so on and so forth. And the variant covers I picked up because I'm just getting variant covers. I don't know why. So yeah. So next up, we have my read list. These are the titles that I check out so that I stay current and up to date on some stuff. First up is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad #2. I actually really enjoyed the first issue of this, so I'm going to keep reading it. But it's nice to kind of read something a little different now and then. And this is, you know, again, based on the ride at Disneyland. So, yeah, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Next up is Mark Millar and Sean Murphy's Chrononauts #2. First issue was interesting, so I'm sticking with it. So hopefully issue 2 keeps my attention, and I'll read issue 3. But we shall see. But Chrononauts #2. Next up, we have the Convergence titles that I'm reading. I may actually end up picking up some of these Convergence titles. I know last week the titles that I did not purchase were Convergence Batgirl, Convergence Superman, and Convergence Titans. I've read Batgirl. I didn't like it. It was horrible, so I'm not even going to continue reading the next one. Superman wasn't bad. It featured the Superman prior to the New 52 and some of the Flashpoint characters going at it, so I may decide to throw that one on my purchase list, but we shall see. And then Titans I haven't actually gotten to yet. So, but first up is Convergence Shadow of the Bat #1. I've read the Nightfall, the first 2 bit trades like Nightfall. I haven't finished off the third large one, so wasn't really reading too much during this time. And yes, it's Batman, and yes, I always have a Batman hat on and something to do with Batman around me. But I didn't really feel I needed to get this. If I read it and I enjoy it, I'll definitely pick it up. But for now, I'm kind of just checking it out. Next up, we have Convergence Green Arrow. I like Arrow. Check out Green Arrow. Why not? Duh. Next up is Convergence Green Lantern Parallax. This is when Hal Jordan became possessed with the Parallax fear entity. Curious to see where this goes. I know Charlie's a really big fan of this stuff from Green Lantern. I have not read a lot of that stuff, so we'll see if this is a kind of good thing to kind of pique my interest in that stuff, but we'll see. Next up is Convergence Superboy #1. I have no expectations, nothing. I will most likely just read this and go, okay. I have a feeling it's going to be like Batgirl. I never read the Superboy stuff, but I was never a big fan of this Superboy incarnation, especially since this is the one that came out after the death of Superman. So, we shall see. Next up, we have another thing that comes out of like the death of Superman stuff, which is Supergirl Matrix. This appears to be the Supergirl and Alexander Luthor from an alternative universe. I'm not too familiar with all that stuff. Again, I did not necessarily read all that during that time period, so we'll see if I enjoy this one. Then last up on the Convergence read pile is Convergence Superman Man of Steel. They could have just called it Convergence Steel, but tacking Superman on there is definitely going to sell a few more books. I've always liked Steel as a character. I'm curious to see where they go with this Convergence story based around Steel. The next up on the read list is The Fade Out #5, Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips book from Image. Really great stuff. I really enjoy this title. Good, solid book. If you're not checking it out, I would highly recommend picking up the first trade and reading it and seeing if you like it too. Okay, next up is Chapter 12. Oh, Chapter 12. Jeez, is this story over yet? Chapter 12 of Black Vortex. This is Legendary Star Lord #11. I went off on a little rant, small rant on the comic on the Comic Conspiracy podcast tonight about how bad Black Vortex has been. Brian says it's a hot potato story, and it's not even really a hot potato story. It's a bunch of Marvel superhero X-Men characters, and galactic characters from the Guardian stuff gather around and discuss what they should be doing with the mirror, and then somebody submits the mirror, and then somebody takes the mirror to a place where they think is safer, and then everybody meets up again, and the same thing repeats. I had decent hopes for Black Vortex. I have no hopes that this book will, or this story arc will in any fashion save itself. I just want it to be over at this point. 12 in. I need it done. Next up is a book I think Toby's mentioned on the podcast, but it's issue 1. It's an image title. It's Run, Love, Kill. Number 1 is out. It's 1 of 8. I'm curious to see what this book entails. I kind of flipped through it, and the art seemed a little cool, so I was going to check this out. But Run, Love, Kill number 1 is out today. Then last up on my read list is Thor number 7. Looks like female Thor is going up against the Devastator. Really curious to see how this pans out. Jason Aaron's been doing an amazing job with this book. Thor's just been a really, really solid title since he took it over a few years ago. And I'm really curious to see where he goes with Thor being a female. But it's been really good so far. Been really enjoying it. If you have not checked it out, I highly, highly recommend you do, because Thor is an amazing, amazing title. So those are the books that I brought. There was one title I wasn't able to pick up because we didn't have too many copies, and that is 8 from number 3 from Dark Horse. It's a pretty interesting story. I'm just checking it out, but I've been enjoying it for the most part, so I'm going to keep it up. There was a couple of graphic novels that came out this week of mention. The first one is Spread Volume 1, No Hope, is the title of this trade. It's $14.99. I'm not sure it's the best price point. Image has normally done a good job with their first trades being $9.99, so I'm curious why it's $14.99. But I've enjoyed Spread by Justin Jordan. It's an interesting take on kind of virus zombie things and stuff, but really enjoy Spread. Next up is Jason Aaron's Men of Wrath Volume 1 is out. It's also $14.99. If you have not yet checked out Jason Aaron's Men of Wrath, I highly recommend you pick up this trade. It's a really, really good story. And it's not superhero-y, it's more just kind of realistic and good. So you should check it out. Men of Wrath Volume 1. And then for those of you who are Harley Quinn fans, or Batman Adventures fans, or Batman, animated series Joker fans, anything having to do with the animated Batman stuff, Batman Adventures Mad Love, the deluxe edition, was reprinted by DC. It's $24.99. It's a hardcover. Looks to be a nice little collection of it. I already have it in softcover, I believe, so I'm not too big on going and grabbing the hardcover. But for those of you who like hardcovers, and you would like this in your collection, you should pick it up. But it is a good story regardless. I know it's a little late, I posted on Twitter to see if anyone had any questions. Nobody seems to have any questions for me this week. Hopefully that'll change. You guys will start becoming a little more active on asking me questions. If you ask me a question even prior to me recording this, if you ask it, in the evening on Tuesdays, I'll get it and answer it here. But that's it for this week. Pretty tiny week. But that means we're going to get bigger weeks coming down the pipeline. So thanks again for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you've noticed, I have custom thumbnails now that I'm trying to put on the videos, so let me know what you think of those. Go ahead and leave your comments about that stuff down below. Again, this is a learning process for me. I'm trying to do my best. I'm not, a pro at any of this stuff, but what I am doing, I'm trying to get better at. So let me know what you think of those thumbnails. Let me know what you kind of expect out of a thumbnail, or just an image for videos and stuff like that. Hopefully down the road I'll be able to do a little more editing on these instead of just kind of recording on the fly and then loading it. But we'll see what happens in the future. But for now, this is what I can do, and this is what you get. So you can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @BrockSager. You can catch me on the Comic Conspiracy Podcast, which is at www.geekbox.net. You can find it on iTunes and a couple of the places that I don't even know now. We just finished recording episode 205. So we answer some emails and some Twitter questions on there. There wasn't really any big news. So go check out that episode. It's up and ready for your listening enjoyment. You can help support myself and the Comic Conspiracy at www.patreon.com/comicconspiracy, and that helps pay for our hosting fees and all that stuff for the podcast, and gives us a little extras to get some of this nice stuff that we have to keep reading and keep caught up on stuff. And to our Patreon supporters, thank you. It is much appreciated. And again, there's different tiers of, you can use small tiers, big tiers, but go on there, check it out if you feel, hey, I want to help out, and so on and so forth. It is much, much appreciated. Avengers 2 is coming up soon. The shop is actually running a promotion for, you can win some tickets to an advanced screening. That's the 27th. Ryan talked about it tonight on the podcast. But if you go to the Comics Conspiracy Facebook page, that's the Facebook page for the shop, there'll be more information on that soon. And I believe it's next week on Wednesday. He'll be posting something about how to win that stuff. And I believe there's going to be a post, and you have to do some, like you reply to it or something. I don't know. But he'll have more details on the Comics Conspiracy Facebook page, so go check that out if you want to. If you're in the Bay Area, that's the only stipulation. If you're in the Bay Area and you want to win some tickets, I think there's a 4 and some swag is what you win. But with that, we'll be actually going to Avengers 2 for that screening, early screening. So I'll hopefully be able to record a kind of Avengers review video for you. Definitely post it on Friday. I'll see it Thursday night as well, but I'll post it probably that Friday. So if you don't want spoilers, don't watch it. If you have seen it and want to see my review and opinion and all that stuff, check out the video. Hopefully that I can get up. Crossing my fingers. Always cross my fingers I can do more content. I think that's about it. You can go to conspiratorbrock.com. That's my blog. That's just another place where I post stuff. I haven't really posted too much new material there. It's just mainly for the pull list. The actual pull list is there with the links to the digital comics versions of the titles that I'm reading, which if you purchase them through those links, that's through the Comic Conspiracy, or the Comics Conspiracy digital retailer, and the store gets a little cut of that, and it's much appreciated. I always have stuff on Amazon posted there for stuff. I think Mad Love is the one I featured this week. Anything you purchase through Amazon through my links, I get a little kickback, and for those of you that have done that, thank you, I appreciate it. A couple of people purchased some Green Lantern trades through those links, most likely on my Green Lantern read list page. Thank you for that. It's much appreciated. Every little bit helps. So yeah, I've been talking for almost 20 minutes. I'm probably boring you half to death, and I need to actually get this uploaded because I'm tired. Even though I got the week off, I still got a ton of shit to do. Big WoW comic book convention is coming up in San Jose this weekend, which I got to work. We just finished our sale. Oh, so much to do, so little time. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week.